And therefore, it is very important that once that is done, the child has already had the break tea or breakfast, then you can now tell the child, okay, thank you so much for whatever you have done, and now it is time for you to go and probably play. And therefore, it is important when the child, you are introducing the aspect of play, tell the child what type of play is likely to go in. In this case, for example, we may now say, okay, now that you have finished having breakfast, you are now going to play football. Bring the ball, introduce the ball to the child, let the child get to know the type of ball that is going to play with, and therefore you have now to demonstrate the ball, let the child have an exploration of the ball. Let the child feel how big the ball is, the size of the ball, and then lead the child to the play area where that child is going to play from. And once you reach the play area, try still to demonstrate how are you going to play the ball. For example, you can get the ball, bounce it up, and then with the demonstration, get the child in contact with the ball, bounce, throw the ball down, let the child experience the ball, bring it, finished having breakfast, you are now going to play football. Bring the ball, introduce the ball to the child, let the child get to know the type of ball that you're going to play with, and therefore you have now to demonstrate the ball, let the child have an exploration of the ball. Let the child feel how big the ball is, the size of the ball, and then lead the child to the play area where that child is going to play from. And once you reach the play area, try still to demonstrate how are you going to play the ball. For example, you can get the ball, bounce it up, and then with the demonstration, get the child in contact with the ball, bounce, throw the ball down, let the child experience the ball, bring it back again to the child, and give an opportunity to the child again to throw it down. I know it might be a bit challenging because if the child is totally deaf and blind, he may not be able to see the direction of the ball. But with your guidance, you should be able to help this child that when the ball is bounced or thrown down, the child should be able, it should be thrown in a radius that the child is able to reach so that he's able to get the ball. And thereafter, you can try to have an interaction with the child. If not, you can even demonstrate an element of throwing and catching the ball. Try to tell the child to open his hands, ready to receive the ball, throw the ball into the child's hand, and then give an opportunity to the child also to throw it back at you. So in the process of throwing and receiving and catching the ball, the child will definitely get interested in the activity, and it depends on the play area, because different play areas may have different play materials. Others may end up going to the swing, others may end up going maybe to skipping the rope, depending on whatever is available. And therefore, it is very, very, very important that as a teacher, in the process of teaching these learners who are deaf-blind, it is very, very, very important for you to use a demonstration. It is very important for you to use task analysis method. It is very important for you to have tactile communication, because at the end of it all, you may also need to know how do we help this child. Maybe during play, the child now wants to go for maybe toileting. How are you going to introduce that? It is very, very, very important, more especially when it comes to toileting, that the child has already mastered some of these other things, he's already satisfied, he has played. The time may come that the child now wants to go to ease himself or herself. How are you going to do this? First and foremost, you need to introduce where the toileting facility is. The child should be able to identify the need for toileting. And once you get there, what materials does the child require in order for him or her to use during the toileting, so that you are able to identify maybe a toilet tissue that may be required for this particular activity, and therefore lead the child into the toileting room or toileting facility. Let the child open the door, he enters there, and once he has entered there, definitely he has to undress. Demonstrate the undressing exercise so that the child is able to undress himself, and then sit depending on the type of toilet facility. If it is a pit latrine, definitely that one requires squatting. and therefore demonstrate the child squatting on the toilet, on the pit, so that the child is able to portion himself or proportion himself directly to the hole, so that the anal part of it is directly linked to the hole, and then the child is able to stuff or remove the stuff from yourself. And after that is done, then you have to guide this child that after toileting, you have to clean yourself. Cleaning yourself depends on the gender. And this is very, very, very important. For the case of females, it might be a bit different, because for females, it is advisable that they go from front backwards. And if it is for the case of boys, it's a bit different. Maybe it is from back forward. So this is done basically for purposes of hygienic conditions, to avoid infection that may probably occur during the process of cleaning after toileting. And once that is done, you have demonstrated that, you have allowed the child to demonstrate or to exercise that, then you have to lead the child to washing, because it is very, very important that after toileting, after easing yourself, it is important to go to the hand washing facility where there is soap, and then tell this child that here is where, after you have eased yourself, you can wash your hands from here, clean your hands, rinse your hands maybe on a towel if it is there, and after you have to guide the children to dress up, and then guide the student that after all this has been done, he has to move out and close the door. So at the end of it all, the student or the child should be able to go through all these processes, and it helps the child to live independently and an acceptable member of the society wherever he is. So dear members, I want to thank you so much for having listened to me, and I hope this will guide you as you go along interacting with these other learners. There are quite a number of things, but we may not exhaust all of them, but I hope this should be guiding enough to help you work and teach these learners, more especially on activities of daily living. Once again, I want to thank you so much for listening to me. I wish you a nice time. Enjoy your reading. Thank you so much.